Hey everybody, thank you for watching the video. This movie that I'm going to talk about just came out a few weeks ago. It's called Fall. I don't know if you guys have seen the marketing for it, the trailers, and all that stuff. And I think I was on Vudu or something like that, and I'd seen it. And I'm like, I want to check that out. So today was the first day on Vudu where you could actually rent it. So I wanted to check it out. I'm going to do a movie review for it. Okay, so the movie begins where you meet a few characters. You meet Becky and you meet Dan, and they're basically on the side of this mountain with ropes, and they're rappelling on the side of this mountain. And then about, I don't know, 20 feet from them, you meet Hunter, who is Becky's best friend. So the group is rappelling up this mountain, and Dan comes across this hole that's in the side of the mountain, and he sort of grabs onto it as sort of like a hand catch, and a bird or something comes out of this thing and grabs his hand, and he falls. And as he's falling, it's like, I got it. And then the girls try to pull him up, and he falls even more and dies. So literally, like 5 minutes into the movie, one of the main characters dies. I'm just like, whoa, like what is going on here? It's like 5 minutes into the movie, this dude just falls to his death. Now I gotta say is that the CGI for the death part of where Dan falls was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It didn't match up. So as he's falling, you could tell that they were using like a green screen or something as he's falling, because it definitely didn't match up. And I'm just like, okay, one of the main characters dies within 5 minutes of the movie, and then the green screen portion of him actually falling looked terrible. And I was like, oh no. I really wanted to see this movie. I thought it'd be a different take on something, as it's an original idea. Even though I think it's crazy for them to be climbing up this thing, it was like, okay, I'll give it an opportunity, and check it out. It's one of those, you gotta surrender your disbelief for reality. You know what I mean? On top in movies like this. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll suspend the reality portion of the movie, and I'll watch it for what it is. So he falls. The next scenes are of Becky in a bar, and she's completely just blasted drunk, and she's emotional, and she's not getting over the fact that Dan died. As she's stumbling out of the bar, she runs into her father, who's out in the parking lot, and their relationship is not that good. They used to be very close when she was younger, but then things happen, life happens, and they're not close anymore. And the father was actually played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Negan from The Walking Dead. But he was only in it for like 5 minutes. So it's like they put his name on the marketing for it, but he was only in the movie for like 5 minutes. So it's one of those things where it is what it is. So she goes back to the house, and she's still emotional. She's just a wreck. And she goes in the cabinet, grabs a pill bottle of about 20 pills. She's got them in her hand. She's just about ready to put them in her mouth, and the phone rings, and it's her friend Hunter. And Hunter comes over and basically is sort of a friend, and basically stops her from committing suicide, even though she didn't know that. She was just being a friend. And she was being there for her friend, and it really helped her, and she didn't end up commit suicide. So she says, well, I have a new conquest that I want to do. And it's like it'll get your mind away from Dan. um, Becky had his ashes sort of like in this box or something. She said, you can take his ashes, we can go on top of this tower, and you can just let the ashes go. And it's like, because they're adrenaline junkies, it was important for her to say, I maybe you're right. Maybe I need to just let his ashes go. So not exactly what I would do, but it's one of those things where it's like they were adrenaline junkies, so it made sense. So they go to this tower. Um, the problem I have is they didn't do any initial research. It's sort of just like, okay, we're gonna show up to the tower and go up to the. Okay, did you not have any like secondary precautions? Did you not let anybody else know that you were doing this? Hunter on her social media was basically like, "We're climbing up this tower. Look at us!" And then she took pictures and stuff. And it's like, I would not rely on subscribers to um, call the cops when they need to, because everybody's got their own life going, and a lot of times your videos are sort of like to fill in the gaps and things. And I would not rely on subscribers to be like, "Oh, they're dangling by a string and they need help." So it's like, it's one of the, I would never do that. And again, I would let somebody know that I'm doing this, and they should have had it where they let somebody know and they give them pushback as far as like, it's dangerous. Why would you want to do that? I wouldn't do it. And then have have Becky, be like, no, I have to do this for Dan. I have to do this for Dan. So it was like they didn't show it. They didn't have anything where she was adamant about doing this for Dan. It was basically like her best friend told her to do it. She did it. Let's go on this mountain. Let's go on this tower without any location scouting, without any secondary backup plans, nothing. And it's like, I don't do anything without plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. And I would not be going up a tower that's the highest tower. It's taller than freaking buildings without a secondary and maybe a third plan. So it was like, I understand that they're adrenaline junkies. I get that. But you still got to have a plan. So the girls, as they're going up this tower, the thing's all rickety, and you see the bolts shaking, you see all this stuff shaking on the ladder, which just tells you right away that something bad gonna happen. And they tell you that in the marketing, they tell you that in the trailer. So when you're watching it, you know ahead of time that they're stuck up on this tower, and it's like they need to tell that story of why they got stuck on that tower. You know what I mean? So it's like, they kind of did, but then it was like they left a whole lot of stuff out. Like, with their father and them not having a good relationship. They should have had backstory scenes of them having miscommunications or them getting along good when they were kids to help tell that story. They never did. It was, she would tell us that she used to have a good relationship with her father. I need to see it, and they didn't show it. It was basically, well, when I was younger, I had a good relationship. Oh yeah, but now it sucks. Yeah. No, I need to see it. They should have had flashbacks to show the relationship, or maybe how the relationship soured over the years. I need something to back up the story that she's not having a good relationship with her father, and that when she was younger, they did. So it's like, immediately dropped the ball, in my opinion, about not telling me that story. I think it's important. Don't tell me, show me. And I think they failed at it. They were so worried about having the big moments with the girls stuck on the tower that they failed to tell me the story or the backstory, which I think they took an L on that. So the girls are trying to figure out what's going on and how to get down. Becky sees a tattoo on the leg of the other girl, her best friend, and it was something that Dan said, and it was on the other girl's leg. So she found out that this girl, that Hunter, is sleeping with Dan beforehand, and it was like, well, how long you guys do? 4 months. 4 months. So the other girl's sleeping with her husband. She just finds out as they're dangling for life on the top of this freaking tower, okay? Now, I understand you have to have story points. I'm not saying that you don't. But she literally finds out that her best friend is banging her husband when they're all the way on the top of this crazy situation on this tower. And again, I would have had a scene that was maybe not necessarily having Hunter and Dan with the relationship, or maybe having it like one of the people saying, we need to stop this. I don't want, have Dan, I don't want to hurt Becky, or have Hunter, I don't want to hurt Becky. We need to stop. So again, don't tell me, show me. And they didn't show me. I thought they were, I think they were just going for the awe factor of the amazing sight it was with them on top, and them dangling on ropes and all this other stuff. And I get that, but again, you need to show me, not tell me. Like one scene or one or two scenes depicting Hunter and Dan's relationship or lack thereof, or if there was weird or something like that. They should have done that, and they failed. So she finds out that Hunter was sleeping with Dan for a few months. So they come up with this idea of taking a cell phone, and they knew that they had service down on the ground because Hunter was live streaming and she was making videos. So they're like, we know we had service at the bottom of this thing, but they don't have service on top. So they grab a shoe, they put a cell phone in it, they put some other stuff in there to pack it, and then they throw it down, and then the message basically says, we need help, we're stuck on the tower. She said she had 70,000 subscribers, so she was sending it to her subscribers, and again, the subscribers did not help at all. So it's like 70,000 of somebody that doesn't care about you. They only care about the wow factor, like, ooh, you're doing something cool, you're hanging off something, but yet they don't help her when she actually needs them. Like, it was kind of a weird thing where it was like, okay, so they don't hear anything from the 70,000 subscribers. So they get a bright idea of using the drone. They fly the drone. It gets maybe, I don't know, 200 yards from where they are, and it's losing power, losing battery. So they have to bring the drone back, and Becky has to like grab this thing out of midair as it's coming toward them, because it's losing battery. They don't want to lose the drone, just in case they need it, somewhere down the line to try to get in touch with somebody. So they get the drone back. Then they come up with an idea of earlier in the movie they showed Hunter showed her a hack as far as the pegs in the charger, and then you can go to like a light bulb and stick it in there and get it charged that way. So it's sort of like this little hack. I don't know if it works or not. I'm not going to sit there and try to make it work. So they said, well, let's do this hack because there's a light bulb that's on the very, very top. And it basically is a red light to let airplanes know and whatnot that pole's there. And once they, Becky climbs up this pole. She takes the thing off. She puts it in there. She's holding on to it like a bear hug. And she's getting attacked by birds and the whole thing. And when she comes back down, she got this thing charged, the drone charged. So she comes down, she's just a wreck. She's emotionally wrecked. She's physically wrecked. She is just wrecked. So they fly this drone, and they get it almost to the hotel that they were staying at. It's like, well, if we fly this drone that has a note on it to the hotel, maybe somebody will see the drone fall or whatnot and grab the note. So they fly the drone. It's almost to the hotel, and then all of a sudden, this freaking semi, kaboosh, completely annihilates the drone. Completely annihilates it. Like, it was great because it was like very unexpected, and it was just like, okay, they almost got it, and then kaboom! Like, so after that, like, they're spent. They're absolutely spent. They're emotionally spent. They're physically spent. They're just a wreck. So Hunter was like, I need to climb down, I don't know, maybe about 40 feet, 50 feet, to where the backpack is that has water and supplies that they had brought, because they dropped it in the middle of the commotion with the ladder falling. So she's like, I need to go down there. I need to get the water, because if we don't have any water, we're not going to be able to live. So she goes down there. She grabs the backpack. She's about, I don't know, 10 feet away from the backpack. She can't reach it. She unhooks her thing, and I'm like, come on, why would you unhook it? So she unhooks the thing, She drops down. She grabs the backpack. She's like, I got it. She grabs a selfie stick, and she grabs a selfie stick with the backpack, and she puts it on the hook for where the rope was that she dangled down. So she puts it on there, and then she sort of just jumps on the rope with the backpack, and she's like got a bear hug on this puppy, and then it's like, bring me up, bring me up. So trying to bring her up. Becky's trying to bring her up. Then all of a sudden, it slips out of Becky's hand, and she falls. And Becky is just like, "Oh my god!" And she thinks she's dead. She thinks she's dead. So Becky sort of like gains her composure. She looks down, and she sees Hunter is dangling on this rope, and she's like, "You're gonna have to pull me up because my hands are all jacked up." And her hands were all jacked up. So she's sort of holding out barely. So Becky grabs this thing, grabs a rope, and just starts yanking it. Finally gets her up. So they finally got a little bit of water from this backpack. They're still stuck on there. They do have a drone, but they were going to try to wait a little bit for this drone. First, I think it was checkout for the hotel or something, so that they knew that there was people going to be leaving or coming in during a certain time, because they had stayed at that hotel previously before they climbed up this tower. So they kind of had a sort of a plan. Not, I mean, it's not my number one plan, but so the drone idea failed because the big truck knocked into it and killed it. They have the water. They have the water from the backpack, and then they charge the drone with the light bulb, and then Becky is just a wreck. She's like emotionally wrecked, but she's also physically wrecked because she was climbing up this pole, and she was like spending all this energy trying to get this thing charged and all this other stuff. And then she's talking to Hunter, and Hunter kind of turns and says, maybe you're just afraid to be alone, or something to that magnitude. And I'm just like, where are they going with this? And then when she turned, Hunter had like blood and just everything like on the side of her face over here. And it's like, okay, where are they going with this? Well, what it was is they revealed that Hunter died when she went and got the backpack, that she actually died, and that Becky was talking to her spirit for like the last quarter of the movie. And it was like interesting. I thought it was an interesting take on it. I mean, they could have very easily say, both the girls together and, best friends forever and all this other stuff. And they didn't. Hunter was with her, but then you find out that Hunter was actually a figment of her imagination, and Hunter actually died. So Hunter's body was still down where the dish was, the television dish that was on this tower. You can kind of see it in the picture, and it's like a quarter way down the pole and whatnot of the tower. So it's revealed that she's by herself. She's hopeless. She doesn't have a drone. She doesn't have water. She doesn't have her best friend. She is a wreck. So she goes down, and the backpack was still down there, where Hunter was. So she's like, she still had her cell phone. Hunter had thrown her cell phone earlier with that shoe down there trying to get her subscribers. So Becky grabs her cell phone, rappels down with the rope, and goes to Hunter's body, and Becky grabs her cell phone, grabs Hunter's shoe, packs it up, and then she's like, hopefully rescue will come, or people will hear it, or something to that magnitude. And I think she sent it to her dad, not 70,000 subscribers. And she throws it down. She has like a one-liner of like, this'll people will hear it, or something like that. And all of a sudden it cuts to the dad driving up at night to the tower, and then there's EMS and police that are around the tower. And the dad walks out and sees that the police are putting a sheet over somebody's body, and he automatically thinks it's Becky. And then he's walking up, he's emotional, he's crying and all that stuff. And Becky says, "Dad?" And he turns to the right, and Becky comes up, and they have an embrace, and they're hugging, and "I love you so much," and all this other stuff. I mean, why didn't they show her getting rescued? That's the question that I have. They basically went from her doing a one-liner with the cell phone, with the shoe, throwing it down and saying, "Somebody's going to rescue me," and then all of a sudden they cut to the end and she's already safe. Like, if you're going to make a movie where you're stuck in a situation that is terrible, you have to show me how you got rescued, how you got out of that sticky situation. Not go from a one-liner, you got the shoe with the cell phone, and then all of a sudden you're safe. Like what kind of ending is that? That's basically, in my opinion, the production company's like, "Well, we don't have enough money, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put together some EMS drivers, and then she's gonna be safe." Like, I wanted to see her getting out of that situation. Again, when I said, I talked about it earlier in the video. Show me, don't tell me. So she has a one liner, and then all of a sudden EMS saves her, and it's over. So it's like they had a lot of opportunities for a compelling story, and they passed on it. They went for the awe factor and the scenery of the girls being up on that tower, and not actually telling a compelling story. And I think they missed the ball a lot on that. So if I had to, if I liked the movie, but I didn't love the movie because there were so many holes with the story. And I'm a story guy. I need story. Like I said, I need you to show me, not tell me. Like the thing with her father. Show me a scene or two with what happened to the relationship with her father. Maybe the mom died, then there was a rift in between them. Show me the best friend Hunter is in a weird relationship with her husband. Show me that. Show me how she gets rescued and not just puts a thing in the cell phone in the shoe and throws it down with a one-liner saying, something about the fact that they'll find it or something like that. Like there was a lot of missed opportunities that they should have taken. And I would have felt a little differently about it. So I enjoyed the movie. If I had to give it any kind of rating, I would give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. So I enjoyed the spectacle of the movie and I enjoyed the premise of the movie, but I think there's a lot of story points that they blew it on. They missed completely. So I don't know what you guys think, if you guys have seen the movie or if you guys want to see the movie. So definitely check it out if you guys want to talk about it. There'll be an opportunity in the chat below to talk about the movie. So like I said, it'd be 6.5 out of 10. I thought there were some good parts to it. I thought the girls did a great job of acting, but I think the actual storytelling of it, now that's up to the writers, that's up to the producer. But I think the girls did a great job as far as their acting. But yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about in the description below, in the chat below, like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.